Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is our Rice News analyst, Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Adesua, and good morning, Rufai.
Morning, sir.
Let's start with these day newspapers, Nigeria's newspaper of records. Now, the lead story. Akpabio blinks, says he didn't accuse lawmakers of being NDDC contractors. House threatens lawsuit, probes police invasion of Nunez residents. Senate demands agencies IMC dissolution. Refund of 4.923 billion. Now, other newspapers have this story on the front pages. The Guardian newspaper knocks anger as Akpabio denies claim against reps. While the Nation newspaper, Senate seeks sack of NDDC IMC, refund of 4.9 billion. Report exposes massive financial recklessness. Akpabio backtracks as House plans court action. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, Senate finds NDDC leadership guilty, asks Buhari to sack interim management, demands refund of unjustifiable spent funds. Akpabio recants on alleged contracts to lawmakers. While the New Telegraph, Senate probes lawmakers over NDDC contract scam, seeks IMC dissolution, refund of 4.9 billion by official. Now, there are two stories here. First, from the House of Representatives, where the ultimatum given to Akpabio to name names expired yesterday, but he wrote to the House, recanting, as I expected. Ruben, a few days ago, you were asking me what will happen if he doesn't reveal the name. And I told you that I foresee his recanting, because he started doing that right there on the floor of that hearing that day when he came under pressure. When they were asking him to off the mic, it's enough. And he was saying, no, let me explain, you don't understand. This is not exactly what I mean. I knew it was going to end that way. But at the Senate yesterday, of course, there was a report of a committee which the Senate set up, also on the NDDC. And that report, the Senate has also asked that 4.9 billion be refunded by the IMC management and the leadership, all those who spend that money. But if we look at Vanguard, just to add to the story, Vanguard newspaper, NDDC, we fail in our oversight duties. That's Senate. So the Senate itself is still probing the NDDC further. Haven't admitted that they have not done enough in terms of oversight duties. But they are going on with their own investigation as to whether members of the Senate, some members of the Senate, actually benefited from NDDC contracts, because recall that Dr. Cairo Ojugbo, on our program was very emphatic about his own accusations, and he has not recanted like Akpabio. Ruben, Rufai, and Adesua, over to you.
Well, a number of issues. Adesua, you want to go first?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, one about Senator Akpabio. Well, let's say that you've been proven right, that he was going to retract the statement. And you know, I said when we first took the subject that I thought that the Speaker of the House of Representatives was bluffing. But he has proven that he wasn't bluffing. And it is instructive that Senator Akpabio's letter arrived at the House of Reps after the House had taken the decision that the clerk should begin proceedings with regard to perjury and civil defamation against him. Now, his lawyers must have advised him that the way the House of Reps was going, he may not have a strong ground to stand on, except he has the defense of truth. because under Legislative Houses Powers and Privileges Act, Section 7, Section 10, Section 7 deals with witnesses taking oath. And then in Section 10, if you take oath and you misrepresented the facts before that panel, you could be charged for lying on oath, which is perjury. And now the subsection in that Section 10 also says, look, even if you didn't take oath and you mislead the committee, then, of course, you can be liable under Section 117 of the Criminal Code. And that Section 117, you could be liable upon conviction to an imprisonment of 12 months. So I see, Senator Akpabio then being advised to just play safe. And he said he was misunderstood. He was not allowed to explain himself. But I would have loved to take a second look at that video that is in circulation. Because I recall that, yes, he may not have said 60% with regard to the lawmakers, but he said something about majority of them being beneficiaries.
I mean, and
if they didn't know, that their chairman will know, that their chairman will have the details. I thought there was a line by that. But I think that the House of Reps is pleased with, his change of tone. And maybe they will allow the sleeping dogs to lie.
Ruben, we have the full video in Arise. We will play that in the course of the day.
He did say so that 60%.
We will play it in the course of the day. This is newspaper review. We will get to that later in the day.
I know we have it. Anyway, another thing from the House of Reps. The House of Reps, there was a motion that was moved by Senator Nkeruka Onyejocha asking that the Committee on Police Affairs should investigate the invasion of the house of the former chairman of the Interim Management Committee of the NDDC. That's Ms. Joy Nunez. And I think it's interesting to see, the House saying that something untidy happened in that regard and that they have the right to know. As for the Senate admitting, during the adoption of the report by the committee led by Senator Olubunmi Adetunbi, admitting that the NDDC committees in the National Assembly have not done enough. I think that's something that we should note. And we hope that going forward, not just the committee on the NDDC, other committees too, will be more diligent in discharging their responsibilities. The recommendations about the disbanding of the IMC, of the NDDC, well, that's also the position of many Nigerians. And there are persons who have appeared on this program who have also said that NDDC board, NDDC should be under the presidency, domiciled in the office of the SGF,
like it used
as
to be.
was the case previously.
Until very recently.
Yes, and not Ministry of Niger Data Affairs. But those recommendations, the report of the probe by the National Assembly, we still have to go to the president. It's the president who will take the final decision on some of those recommendations.
Yes.
Well,
okay,
I'm not surprised that Minister Akpabio recounting his position. I'm just disappointed because I was looking forward to that naming ceremony everybody talks about.
It never happened.
I think it was Akpabio that got the naming ceremony.
Yes, it never happened.
But I'm shocked. You know why I'm shocked? I mean, I thought he had the facts when he said, and most importantly, he said that under oath. And I thought he had the facts. I thought he would have just published these names. But since we didn't see the names, the National Assembly now is taking action as regards this. Let's see how all of this pans out. Let's see if his last-minute letter would even save him, if they will have an agreement as regards this. But it's just a clear case of if you don't have the facts, don't say it. Really, you should be able to stand by what you say. And all right,
we'll take one more paper.
Okay, yes. The Daily Trust newspaper, where another sleaze is brewing. Reps allege 100 billion fraud in Northeast Development Commission, another development commission. Now, according to this story, yesterday on the floor, Honorable Member Ndudu Elimelu raised that issue. And according to him, the management of this Northeast Development Commission and the minister supervising it, the minister again, spent about 5 billion to buy military vehicles without approval from the House, without being budgeted for. And he also alleged that they are also, some of these members are buying property in Abuja, in Kaduna, and other places, choice properties. So it's an allegation. So another allegation at the House of Representatives.